Hey guys. So I'm here to do a general love reading. This will be for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. Now, as always, these readings are general. They're for the collective, so if anything here doesn't resonate for you, just leave it for someone who needs to hear it. And remember that there is no gender in tarot. I always pull two separate energies in the spreads. The first I'll call your energy, the second should be your person's. But if they fit better than the opposite, just go ahead and switch sides. And the same goes for cross watchers. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not, and if you need to book a private personal reading or any other service, all that information is in the description below. I'll also pin it in the comments section. The energy for Leo in love, please. Okay. We have make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So your overall energy is the Seven of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, the Tower, Aries Scorpio energy, the Nine of Pentacles, very interesting. The Three of Wands, the Eight of Cups, Death, more Scorpio energy. Bottom of the deck I have the Queen of Swords. The 7, the 8, the 9, and the 10 of Pentacles. Well, I also have two 10s here, signifying, and death, signifying like a major ending. You know, maybe this in a situation is something that was extremely long term, or an actual marriage with the Ten of Pentacles here. And I feel like you, for a long time, were so invested and so focused on whatever this relationship was, that you may have actually like sort of held back from having an individual life, if that makes sense. It's almost like stepping down from this Ten of Pentacles situation, where it's like, you know, when you're married to somebody, they're sort of part of your whole identity. Definitely a solid structure in your life every day. And we're almost like what could, you know, almost seem like demoted to the single energy can seem like, you know, promotion, because, you know, you're independent. You are fine by yourself. But I feel like, you know, there may have been problems in this marriage for a really long time, but it actually took a long time to end the situation. And now that it doesn't have to be a marriage, guys. It can just be a long-term relationship. But it's almost like now we're recognizing perhaps that part of our miserability in the relationship was that we weren't able to have a self. We're just part of a unit. And now that you have that ability, it's almost a little shocking or like strange. It's a big change. And I just feel like it's that recognition of the life after this long-term commitment is actually here now. And despite the fact that it may have been something that we wanted for so long, it's like actually in front of us now. Now, another thing that I kind of see here is that you may be finding that like when you are committed to someone for such a long period of time and being committed becomes part of who you are, it can be a little confusing to actually become single and not sort of get involved again right away. What I see here is you sort of being guarded against that, or sort of like holding back from completely detaching. I almost feel like it's this intellectual sense that perhaps you weren't as prepared as you thought you were, with a mix of excitement that you're finally there, but also almost this shook up feeling of perhaps acceptance, or like the actual finalization here. It's sort of the real like mental recognition that something is actually done. But then there's also this almost like now concurrent like fear to perhaps even move on from that, maybe this main focus on staying single. It's more like going from the point where you lose a relationship and it feels like it fails, and you're almost like interested in another relationship, and then kind of catching yourself and saying, wait a minute, maybe it's time to work on me and figure out who I am. And actually, if you've been in a relationship for a long time and you haven't had any like freedom or independence, you may not be sure who the fuck that is. And that's what I see here. This Queen of Swords just sort of thinking and trying to figure out, really, who am I now? Which is interesting. So for the person on your mind, we have the Queen of Pentacles. A lot of pentacle energy here. The Star, Aquarius energy. The Five of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune, Aries, Scorpio. The Chariot, Cancer energy. The World. Two of Swords. The Fool, Aries, Aquarius energy. Four of Swords. Ace of Swords. And the King of Cups. This person might be a little more focused on their money too. There's probably big money conflicts for this person that they're trying to kind of turn around. It's like this person's not quite balanced out yet. They're kind of working their way there. This person also is not really clear about what the future has for them, and they may come off kind of like distant because they're trying to almost like accept things, accept an ending, take in the truth, and control their emotions on it. This may be a person who's sort of like a triggered person or has maybe some rage patterns. They're trying to really control that here and sort of be more optimistic about the future. So it's sort of like two separate realities where this person is also accepting the ending, but it's less easy for them to accept it. And I feel it's more like a wand energy where it's like a more ego. They may view you as a bit cold. That it could be sort of some type of recognition here that everything is ending with you, and why? That there could have been some cyclic pattern to their own behaviors or something here, and I would say behaviors with the Five of Wands. So they sort of are getting the bigger picture of things now, where it seems you may have gotten it a long time ago. They have 5 wands. There's conflict in this for them still. You're at 10 wands. The worst is over for you. And part of that is your ability to emotionally detach by accepting the ending. This person's getting there. But they may be coming off as kind of distant or cold, but really it's in an attempt, I would say, to almost mask the feelings that are actually happening here with the King of Cups, which is about, controlling the emotions and coming off, in control. But for this person, it's actually taking them sort of that distance, that quietness, the maybe more isolation type of energy to sort of almost, I would say, deal with their rage or like sort their emotions on the situation. And I feel like some part of their stability was dependent upon you, and I don't even mean financial. I mean like some part of this person's internal stability was based off of this relationship with you, if that makes sense. So it's much harder for this person to accept this ending. So what's coming up here for Leo? The Ace of Wands. The Queen of Wands. The Seven of Wands. The Four of Wands. The High Priestess, Cancer, Pisces. The Two of Cups. The Knight of Wands. The Knight of Cups. The Seven of Cups. The Devil. Capricorn energy. Bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Swords. So, what like I said, this person's internal stability was dependent upon you, because I do have some cards here that would signify some perhaps like behavioral patterns. I feel like you got yourself here a person who's not necessarily mentally well, and they may come off mentally well because they may come off emotionally stable, and they do that by just being like aloof and distant, despite the fact that there's that internal rage inside. And you have the Nine of Pentacles over here, so this could have been extremely codependent, or even further, quite abusive. So the takeaway from this relationship is that you actually do have this fear now. And that's okay, but if you do, like, honestly, if you are terrified now to date again, we should get some treatment for that, because it really does happen after relationships. For some people, there'll be like stress disorders involved, because I see like this real want for connection again, and this exuding confidence in the self, and the willingness to understand that we're on a new journey here, the acceptance of an ending, but also still taking away from the relationship the confusion about perhaps offers, as they may seem like love bombing, and also sort of the actions that would be taken in commitment. So I don't feel like you're just walking away from this freely. I feel like you may have endured some real abuse here, and your takeaway now is fear. But it's that mixed emotion of this like joy and happiness to finally pull away from this, while also having to accept this new self that we're not even 100% sure of, but we're happy to try to get back to, but sort of taking away some almost like, PTSD type symptoms with it, which happens, right, with relationship abuse. So if this is something that you're kind of aware of, if you kind of almost have like this real anxiety, or even almost flashback situations to this relationship and the things that happen, I would get some help. I didn't even pull the 3 cards for advice here. In the advice, I have the 5 of Pentacles, Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy, the Magician. I pulled New Love. Work through your fears, meditate and contemplate. So again, there is this energy here where it's saying that you sort of need to balance something kind of out here. So the 5 of Pentacles can mean a lot of things. It can mean feeling lonely, just out in the cold. You don't really have anyone, a support system of any kind. It can be from the outside looking in, where you're in a terrible place and you feel like someone else is in a good place. Or it could just be that you're finding yourself in some type of isolative pattern after this. And the advice is to sort of work that out. And again, this could be in a therapy thing, because this might now be a real fear, and the real fear is new love. And I kind of need to dig into that. So this energy where you feel like you should be alone is not just some it's not as simple as feeling like, well, I just need to be independent. It's it's more, it's deeper. It's almost like relationship resentment at this point where that's not what I want. I don't need somebody. Hyper independence can sometimes be like play out from those, and those are not normal or healthy behaviors. So if honestly you are terrified to get into a relationship after this, I understand. I have the devil and the Seven of Swords here, okay? I 100%, and the Seven of Cups. I 100% understand. But I would look into some therapy. All right, that's what I have for you guys. I'll see you soon.